Doctor. I have admired you for years. I wanted to tell you I'm delighted that you've taken an interest in me. I don't believe you'll tell them who I am. Besides, the important thing is what I am becoming. I have some things I'd love to show you. Until then, I remain your most avid fan.
Two families killed a month apart in their homes. These attacks were highly organized. The victims carefully chosen. This one is gonna go on and on.
That's the same atrocious aftershave you wore in court.
I need your advice, Dr. Lecter.
If you recall, Will, our last collaboration ended rather messily. How is young Josh and the lovely Molly? They're always in my thoughts, you know.
So it's true the Lecter's actually helping with your investigation.
We may have a little over 3 weeks before this freak does it again.
I might not have time.
I do. I have oodles. You want to know how he's choosing them, don't you? This is a very shy boy, Will.
I know what it's like to have people always thinking that you're different.
He is refining his methods. He is evolving.
What am I doing here?
No one will ever be safe around you, Will.
A note hidden in Lecter's cell.
The killer wants Lecter to answer him through the personal columns.
Lecter gave me your home address.
Hi. I'm a friend of your father's.
Open your eyes.
No. I am the dragon.
Give me what I need.
Before me, you tremble.
I'll call you if I think of anything else. Would you perhaps like to leave me your home number?
Hello and welcome back to Just Another Cast. My name's Robert.
And I'm Anne.
So, today we will be talking about two movies, so we'll try to squeeze them in. The first one is Manhunter, 1986 release, 2 hours, 1 minute, and Red Dragon, 2003 release, 2 hours, 5 minutes. They're pretty much prequels to Silence of the Lambs. There's a few subtle differences, but all in all, they're almost pretty much the same movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Anne will be having a lot of stuff to talk about for this one. Finally.
No pressure.
All the pressure in the world. Take it all. Take it all. One of the things about Manhunter, it took me about 95% of the movie to realize this little fact, that William Peterson, who plays Graham.
Will Graham.
He's actually, I finally recognize him as Grissom from NCIS.
CSI.
CSI, I'm sorry. From CIS.
Oh, I confuse those all the time.
Yeah. Okay. So, we started off with Red Dragon. You can guys start off with whatever you want to. I personally preferred Red Dragon.
Yeah, I preferred Manhunter, but I have that huge, Will Graham crush thing going on, so...
Yeah, how do you compete with a character?
Being physically alive.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well. But one of the big differences between the two is in the beginning. In Red Dragon, they start off in the year 1980, Baltimore, at the orchestra with Lecter, listening to a bad flute player, or flutist.
/ flautist.
Whatever. And after that scene, we meet Special Agent Will Graham, he's meeting with Lecter about catching a serial killer and how the killer is taking body parts for cooking. Do. And of course, throughout the course, Graham figures out that it was Lecter. Lecter stabs him, but Graham was able to fight back by taking a fistful of arrows, 3 to be exact, and stabbing him into Lecter and shooting him twice.
Yep.
But in Manhunter, that was not in the movie at all. Basically, it starts off with the killer himself going into the house, but we don't see the killer, just the flashlight lighting his path.
Iconic footage.
Oh yeah. And that's about. And then it goes to Jack and Will on a beach.
Florida. Yep.
Yeah. Anything?
The only difference is Red Dragon mentions in the book the capture of Lecter, but it's not, described like as it's happening. It's talked about as in this is what happened back then type situation, which is why Manhunter didn't really do it. And we didn't know who Lecter was when Manhunter came out.
Yeah.
So.
And with the scenes with Lecter in it, people are probably scratching their head about who is this guy.
Oh.
But also in the beginning of Red Dragon, when it's going through the whole character list or an actor list in the beginning, you see newspaper clippings of Lecter's trial and everything, and and toward the end it shows that he actually gets 9 consecutive life sentences, which you don't really know until how long he's supposed to be serving until Red Dragon.
Yeah. And also talks about that Will Graham spent some time in a asylum after the catch of Lecter and whatnot.
Yeah, that's explained in Manhunter.
Yes, it's explained in Manhunter when he's talking to I think it's his son in Manhunter. Yeah. But in the movie Red Dragon, that's one of the newspaper clippings that flew by real fast. It's like you really only catch it if you know this stuff. That's another reason why I really liked Manhunter, because they took that time with Will Graham to describe that kind of stuff.
And Red Dragon focused mainly on the killer, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the beginning of beginning with Lecter and Red Dragon, it goes to several years later. Graham's quit the FBI because of the profiling they had to do to get inside of Lecter's head. Mm-hmm. And so he quit, trying to get a handle on real life. But Graham's old boss, Crawford, shows up and tries to get him to work on a new case. 2 families murdered on a lunar cycle.
Yep.
So it's the same way in both movies. That scene. He goes to talk to his wife. She really does not want him to go.
Yeah.
But she knows she can't stop him from going and playing the hero and trying to save these people.
Mm-hmm.
So after that scene, he goes and checks out the first home. Was the Red Dragon one during daylight?
Oh.
I want to say it was.
I cannot remember mine. I have not 2, but like 4 versions of this movie going through my head. So.
Okay, because I know in Manhunter it was at night. Anne pointed out that when we were talking about earlier that he wanted to retrace the steps of the killer, so he wanted to do it at night with a flashlight.
Mm-hmm. Kind of follow his path, same time of day. You just, to really get into that head to figure it out, you gotta do what you gotta do, and that's what Graham did.
Yep. So, well, I can't remember the time of day for Red Dragon, but he goes to the murder scene in the master bedroom. After passing the kids' rooms first in both movies and seeing the blood stains.
No, it was Night in Red Dragon. Just remembered.
Okay, so it was Night in Red Dragon. And he's talking through the case about how they were killed, what ways they were killed, how the bodies were positioned, and whatnot.
And in the book, neither of the movies got this, but it's something I love, is when kind of seeing the crime scene in Will Graham's mind, it's like a pendulum that would swing back and forth, kind of moving back in time, almost everything was almost in rewind. And then as he kind of imagined things. And that's just one of those imageries that you get that I just really love. And the whole pendulum thing, it just kind of reminded me of something out of Edgar Allan Poe. So.
Okay, so as he's talking through the stuff, we see mirrors smashed, of course. And in the Red Dragon, it's mentioned right away about how the victims had mirrors in their eyes. Mm-hmm. Now, in Manhunter, the first family that was killed, there was no mention of mirrors in the eyes.
Okay.
There was a smashed bedroom mirror, but the bathroom mirror was left alone. And in Red Dragon, all the mirrors are smashed that the killer could find.
Yeah, it should be all the mirrors.
Yeah, and so that had me going, why is the bathroom mirror in one piece?
Yeah.
And why is there no mention of the mirrors at all?
Yeah.
So, and because of him talking through this scene, he figured that the killer took off his glove, so he called up his boss and had him fingerprint the victim's eyes and toenails and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And they got a partial print off of that. So, anything else on that?
Not yet, no. Most of my stuff is going to be more, I think, about Dollahides coming up.
Okay. Dollhide is the killer, right?
Yeah, Francis Dollhide.
Okay, so after that scene, we see in both movies, you see him in Atlanta briefing the local PD about how this is going to keep on going on until they get smart or lucky.
Yeah.
He also mentions in Red Dragon about how the guy's probably disfigured and everything else. Mm-hmm. But in Manhunter, it's not mentioned that the guy was disfigured.
No, you could see it a little bit on Tom Noonan, who played Francis Dollhide in Manhunter. But yeah, they never really actually mentioned it. The deformity that Francis Dollhide has actually is the cleft palate and cleft lip, which he did not get fixed until he was an adult. So he had a lot of talking issues. Not only did he grow up in like an abusive family home, but he also had that major deformity that would have alienated him from even making any friends or anything like that whatsoever.
But that was all in the book.
Yes.
Because it wasn't explained in any of the movies about that.
Yeah, it's all in the book, but it's a major issue, though, part of his life, what made him have to develop his way of thinking and whatnot. And growing up with cleft lip, cleft palate, even if it's fixed, can be hellish. So, because I was born with that. Mm-hmm. And it was very prominent as a kid. People would stop me in the middle of going in a grocery store just to stare at me. And kids, okay, fine, kids are kids. But adults, where's my Eat the Rude shirt then? Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, another big thing is, or clues that are going on is that in the beginning of Red Dragon, during his talk through of the crime scene, Graham figured, where was the family dog? Now, the pets weren't mentioned in Manhunter until the police briefing.
Yeah.
It just popped up in the middle of the briefing. It's like, where's the dog? And it's like, what are you talking about, dog? There was no mention of a dog earlier or a clues of dogs earlier.
Okay.
But it was explained more in Red Dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And And then after the briefing, Crawford brings up talking to Lecter to help him catch the coin phrase "tooth fairy." Because he would always bite his victims.
Yep.
Now in Red Dragon, Chilton the Doc is back. Yay!
Not as annoying in Manhunter, though.
Yeah, true. Chilton's much laid back in Manhunter than in Red Dragon. He is back, and when Graham goes to talk to Lecter, and of course Chilton is trying to pump Graham for information on Lecter so he can publish his paper.
Yep.
And in Manhunter, it's more Chilton's kind of trying to help him a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get to go see Lecter and Graham.
Mm.
Yes. So they do some catching up before he's asked about the killer.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he starts playing Lecter's ego. To try to get him to help, just like Clarice tried to do in Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
And of course he doesn't really fall for it.
Yep. And don't forget we also have Barney in both.
Yep. Barney, the original actor who plays Barney.
Yep.
Is in both movies.
Frankie Faison.
Yep. So, but in Manhunter, we don't see Chilton and for the first time until they find that note in the cell.
Yeah.
So, anything about Lecter's and Will's meeting?
Another insight into Will Graham is when Lecter is talking to him about the his bad reaction to the Hobbs case and all that kind of stuff is another nice insight into his mind.
But they don't really explain the Hobbs case in the movies.
They talk about it a little bit, though.
Once.
Okay. Was it just once?
It was just once.
Okay. But one of the things is that Lecter taunts him about is basically how the reason why it disturbed him having to kill Garrett Jacob Hobbs so bad is because he liked it. And that whole Graham, the reason why he quit is because he was balancing so far on the edge of, falling into the abyss of madness, basically, with these people. He was having trouble stepping out of it. And that is how hard it is for him to do this.
Maybe. Okay, so, back to the meeting. To get him to help, just like Clarice did, Will threatened to just leave.
Mm-hmm.
Without giving the Lecter the challenge of the case.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, it worked.
Because Graham is one person who can really keep Lecter on his toes.
Mm-hmm. What else? Killers. So, he kind of describes the killer as seeing the woman as they were living. In Red Dragon, that's how one of Lecter's hints to trying to catch it. That he was disfigured. He talked about the big private backyards because the killer might like the sight of the blood at night.
The blood in the moonlight.
Because it looks black.
Yes.
That's about in just chit-chat and trying to push Graham.
Yep. Would you like to leave me your home phone number?
Yeah, he tried to do that. Try to get the phone number out of Graham.
See, now what did you think of the difference between Hopkins and Brian Cox's Lecter, having mostly seen Anthony Hopkins play him?
I've always liked Anthony Hopkins, honestly.
Oh, I know, but...
I prefer the Anthony.
Okay.
Because he's got that more refined voice accent.
Yeah. And then the changing of Lecter's backstory as well in Manhunter.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was... that's later on, though, when they explain that.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, during the father-son talk.
Okay.
So, yay. So, Chilton Doc, okay, we did that. So, he watches the home movies like Lecter kind of hinted at.
Yeah.
And he's just going through that, trying to figure out how all this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So after he does that, and this is Red Dragon, he goes to the second house. He finds a mark in a tree where he figured out that the family was hiding. Or not the family. The killer was hiding.
So, yeah, the mark of the Red Dragon is also on the Mahjong tiles.
And that'll be explained further on when they find out what that
Yeah, it's just that when we learned how to play Mahjong and the Red Dragon kept popping up, it's like I never wanted to let that one go because it was the Red Dragon. Because I was willing to lose just to hang on to that one.
Yep. Well, in Manhunter, he finds a candy wrapper on the ground by the tree. Not a limb like he did in the Red Dragon.
Okay.
And when he climbed up the tree via the tire swing rope, he found that there was a cut branch and also the same Red Dragon mark.
Mm-hmm.
So, after he finds out where the killer's hiding or watching the house while at the second family's, we see Chilton for the first time in Manhunter letting the FBI's know that they found a note in Lecter's cell, possibly from the Tooth Fairy.
Yep.
And they are on a time crunch to try to keep Lecter from being suspicious about them finding the note.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. They failed in Red Dragon.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's Lecter. He's...
Yeah. So they go through this whole hoops and dance stuff, trying to do it, and they get it back. But of course, in Red Dragon, Lecter is suspicious because of clues that you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And Manhunter doesn't really say if Lecter figured out that about the note or not.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. I meant to ask about the cell difference as well.
Oh, yeah. The cell differences. In Red Dragon, you got a cell set up just like Silence of the Lambs, basically. Red Dragon, he's got his own private cell without the glass doors.
And that one is actually accurate to what it should have been, believe it or not. It wasn't in a dungeon-like thing. It was in that white room with the bars. And they actually had netting as well over the bars. But other than the missing netting, Manhunter actually got Lecter's cell correct.
Okay.
The dungeon is just so much more ominous, though.
So, after they found the note and did all that processing, we finally see the killer for the first time in Red Dragon.
Mm-hmm. Played by Ralph Fiennes, also known as Lord Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Really?
Yeah, that was Lord Voldemort.
Okay. He likes playing the bad guys, I guess.
You see, I first was introduced to Ralph Fiennes in like '93 when I saw him play Heathcliff in Wuthering Heights, and until I met Will Graham, Heathcliff was like my literary crush. And so the fact that both of these showed up in Red Dragon, it's like, but it's Graham, but it's Ralph Fiennes. Mm-hmm. And I'm used to seeing him play the good guys, so it's weird seeing him play the bad guys, actually.
Ah, okay. Well, when we see the killer for the first time, they do backstory on him.
Yes.
In Red Dragon. He had an abusive grandmother that would punish him for his bedwetting.
Yep.
Basically pull him to the bathroom, tell him to pull his penis out, and and she would threaten to chop it off.
Yeah.
And we see the killer's journal, Dalhai's journal in Red Dragon.
Yep.
And how it's full of clippings, and he does admire Lecter for what he's done.
Yep.
And it's a pretty disturbing backstory for this killer.
Yeah.
They don't really explain what happened to his parents, though.
Oh, his parents were also there and abusive. as well. This guy, he had no luck. I don't really know how to phrase it.
He couldn't catch a break.
Yes, thank you. He couldn't catch a break. So he even, when he was an adult and was able to get his mouth fixed, I mean, he joined the military to try to get away from him, ended up in Vietnam. And so, I mean, it's like literally couldn't catch a break.
Okay.
I mean, does not excuse what he does, but
yeah. In Manhunter, that doesn't happen really.
Mm-hmm.
They process the note. Also, they find a code just like they did also in Red Dragon. So, in Manhunter, after they process the note, they used a tattler to try to antagonize and smoke out the Tooth Fairy.
Yep.
By calling him all types of lewd names and false stuff that happened at the killings.
Yeah, because they're hoping that he'll go after Will.
Yeah. So
epic fail.
Yeah, I know. And after they tried that, or after they do that and get that set up, Graham's wife goes up to D.C.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen in Red Dragon. In Red Dragon, after we see the killer, they find out what the symbol means. It's a red dragon, it's a mahjong piece, and a Chinese symbol.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes back and converses with Lecter about fear and how the killer, and they talk about how the killer is evolving in fear.
Mm-hmm. He's already improved. He's only killed twice and already improved a whole lot.
Yep. In Red Dragon, Barney brings in a telephone to give to Lecter.
Yep.
So he can call his lawyer.
Quote unquote, yeah.
But of course, Lecter, being who he is, figured out a way to bypass that. In Red Dragon, he's able to tap out the telephone code to basically make a phone call to the operator.
Yeah, I have no idea how that works.
Yeah. And was able to get a hold of, pardon me, Will's old psychiatrist.
Yeah, Dr. Bloom. In Manhunter, it was Sidney Bloom. In the book, it's Alan Bloom.
Okay.
So.
But he gets hold of Dr. Bloom's office and was able to finagle Will's address from the
secretary.
Yep. So now he's got an address for Will. He
sends Francis Dollarhide after Will's family.
Well, not yet. Not yet. Okay. So. Where are we at? Will does some research into the Red Dragon after he gets his info put out, basically, and doesn't know this at the time, but and he figures out the painting. It's a 200-year-old painting, basically.
Yeah, William Blake, the Great Red Dragon and the Woman Clothed in Sun.
Yeah, so he does some research into that. We find out now that the killer has a cleft. We do a scene to the killer, cleft lips. He's working at a photo video place.
Yeah.
And he's a supervisor there, basically.
Yep.
Or a manager. And so has to go interact with a coworker in a different branch area.
Yeah.
And she's blind, and so she can't see his disfigurement.
Yep.
And he gets infatuated with her because of that.
Yep.
Because he thinks that he's found somebody that will like him for him and not cringe from his deformity.
Yeah.
Now back to Manhunter. After Graham's wife goes up to see him in D.C., we see Graham walking through a dark parking lot with an assault team hidden to try to see if the Tooth Fairy will get him.
Yep.
And after a very dramatic walk and seeing a jogger, it ended up being a false alarm.
Yep.
Now, the one thing I did notice is that the killer in Red Dragon is actually younger than the killer in Manhunter. Physically wise. Because the killer in Manhunter looks a lot older than the killer in Red Dragon.
I don't know how old Tom Noonan was, but...
Well, in Manhunter, he was quoted to be about 35.
Okay.
But he looked a lot older than 35. Because he was balding.
Okay.
Gray hair. Sweat back.
Okay.
But in Red Dragon, he had a full head of hair and looked young and fit.
Well, he's supposed to be very fit.
Yes.
He keeps up exercising and whatnot, and always did that.
Yeah, I understand that. But in Manhunter, he didn't have that physical buffness.
No, he really didn't. And in Red Dragon, Rafe, I think, was in his 40s when he acted in that role. So
I don't know. No, because the actors' names and everything is like not very good with them.
I'm saying Rafe Fiennes, but it's spelled like Ralph, but everybody says it wrong.
Oh, are you sure about that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so after the false alarm in Manhunter, the Tattler reporter, whatever his name was,
Freddie Lowndes.
Freddie Lowndes, he's a douche, gets abducted, and in Manhunter, we finally get to meet the killer, because we don't really see him until now.
Yeah.
And that's a long time.
I know.
So, he shows Freddy the before and after pics of his kills, saying about how they were, and then do you see how they evolved, and all this other back and forth stuff.
Yeah. And this scene, I definitely preferred the Red Dragon version of it.
Well, we're not even close to that part when it comes to the Red Dragon area. Because in the Red Dragon, we see that the killer gets infatuated with a blind coworker.
Reba.
Yeah. Who?
Reba.
Reba?
Yeah, that was her name.
Okay. And goes to her house after talking with her. And she hears that he has a soft palate repair lisp, basically, because she trained in hearing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And here is where they find the Truth Fairy letter in Lecter's cell.
Okay.
And they get the Tattler going. Oh, no. I'm sorry. Erase that. They find that what the coded personal was that Lecter put into the Tattler was.
Oh, the warning.
Not the warning.
The
address.
Yeah.
They find out that they put Graham's address into the Tattler, and now the Tooth Fairy knows it.
Yeah.
And so, as punishment, Lecter's cell is stripped of that. Mm-hmm. And Graham rushes home and starts teaching his wife to shoot.
Yep.
And this is where they make the fake story in the Tattler to degrade and insult the killer to lure him out. And after that, he abducts the reporter. And in Red Dragon, he was super glued to the wheelchair.
Yeah.
So the killer and him have the same talk. He actually shows off a Red Dragon tattoo on his.
Yeah, that one was that's awesome in the movie when he did that. That's why it's like I really preferred Red Dragon over Manhunter for that, because that was just fantastic.
And he didn't have that in Manhunter,
yeah.
Of course. So the killer gets the info that the article is a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And that was written to make him angry and try to go after Will into the trap. And he makes the reporter in both movies record a letter that he wrote saying that this is kind of an affidavit type thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing. You kind of have to listen to it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then in Red Dragon, he bites out the reporter's tongue and spits it out. And then sets him on fire and pushes him down the street.
Yep.
In Manhunter, you don't see him actually biting his tongue out like you did in Red Dragon. You see him going for a kiss.
Yeah.
And he sets fire and rolls him down not a street, but a parking garage.
Parking garage, yeah.
Type area where his car was at.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tattler Reporter is now up in smoke.
Yep.
And in Manhunter, they finally break the code after the Tattler Reporter is dead.
Okay.
And the family goes into police protection.
Yep.
And this is where...
I know they sent them to stay with a family of Jack Crawford.
That's after.
Okay.
Let me...
Sorry, I trying to remember things in,
yeah.
you know.
Okay. But this is where Graham has his talk with his son.
Okay.
In Manhunter. That doesn't happen in Red Dragon.
No.
He talks about Lecter killing college girls.
Yes.
And that's the thing that had me going, what? No.
Okay. My theory is that not long before this movie was made, Ed Kemper was caught, and he was known as the co-ed killer. Basically, what Kemper would do is meet girl co-eds. He would chat them up and then kill them, shooting, strangling, and stabbing. He would take their bodies home, and maybe I need to put a content warning here for anybody who may be triggered. He would have sex with them, behead them, take Polaroids of them. He buried them in his backyard with his mother, so she wasn't lonely.
Of course. You gotta have company.
Yeah. When caught, he was given a serum and talked about possibly cooking and eating them, but we've never had any actual evidence of that. So, other than his drugged up word.
Oh, speaking of cooking and eating, earlier in the movies, both of them, they mentioned giving Lecter truth serum.
Yes.
Yes. And Graham said all they got out of asking him about one of the victims. And Grant said all they got out of them was a dip recipe.
Yeah, a recipe for dip.
So, yeah. Does that mean that he actually put the guy in the dip
That's
recipe? That's
my theory. But Ed Kemper is still in prison, so he's still alive.
Oh, nice. Any life sentence?
He's in there for life, yeah.
Yeah, I know for life, but is it multiple or just...
You know, I didn't go into all that lawyery stuff. Legalese is not my area.
Okay. But back to Manhunter, he was talking to his son and Lecter killing the college girls. But during the conversation, one of the little oopsies that I caught in Manhunter, during the conversation, they stopped to talk.
In front of Count Chocula?
And in the background of Graham, there was boxed cereals. And they went to his son, and they panned to his son. And then when they panned back to Will, it was a totally different background setup.
I think it was canned vegetables.
Canned fruit.
Oh, canned fruit? Okay.
With a couple boxes of cereal in the upper left.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, what? Really? Really? Who did the editing on that one? So they get back home to the protected area, or the house, protection house, and he's basically telling his wife to go live with her father until this is all over.
Yep.
And that's where that is at.
Okay.
So, back to Manhunter. Lecter calls the reporter Will's first murder.
Yes. Yes.
Because he got the reporter involved, which got him killed.
Yes. He basically set him up. Whether or not Will intended that exactly is always going to be in question. Mm-hmm. I think even to Will himself. So. Yeah.
And so he ends up making a deal to get more info with Lecter. I don't remember exactly what it was all about.
His stuff back.
Oh, his stuff back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Will was not going to he was not as easy to negotiate with as some others.
Okay. So, back to Red Dragon again. Killer takes the blind girl to a zoo vet.
Yeah.
Because she's going to feel a tiger in this scene for the first time.
Pet a tiger? Yeah.
Feel a tiger.
Yeah.
And she just gets all googly-eye about it and everything. And so they go back.
I mean, how often do you get a chance to pet a tiger one-on-one like that? I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah, and listen to his heartbeat and all this other stuff.
I mean...
So they end up going back home, or his place. Mm-hmm. And she really wants to make out with him, but he's kind of innocent. Because I don't think he's ever actually been with a girl until this point.
I have no clue. So, yeah.
It's just the way he's acting. It just makes it seem like he doesn't know what's really going on that well.
Yeah.
So, she goes down on him in Red Dragon.
Yep.
While he's watching home videos of his next victim's family. Mm-hmm. The cringe.
Cringe. I'm cringing.
Well, the next morning he's having an internal struggle with himself about this girl.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Yep.
About whether to kill her or not to.
Yeah. This is the beginning of him trying to fight his becoming because he likes her.
Yeah. And he doesn't want to hurt her.
Nope.
And about this time, the cops are all starting to put together the pieces.
Yep.
About who the killer is, where he could be at.
Mm-hmm.
Now back to Manhunter. Let me see where I was at. So many notes. So many notes. Flip flop, flip flop. Okay. Again, it's after sending his wife to his father-in-law, or back to her dad, the killer takes the blind co-worker to the zoo, does the whole tiger thing again, and takes her to his house, does dinner, and he starts watching the videos of his future victim. She is wanting to get hot and heavy with him, starts kissing him.
Yeah.
This is where it really shows his inexperience in this.
Okay.
And his hesitancy.
Yeah.
And the next morning, he was afraid it was a one-time thing because she wasn't there beside him.
Yeah.
And he was wondering where she was at. He got frantic, like, did she leave me?
Mm.
And, of course, she was just outside on the dock. Feeling the warmth of the sun.
Okay. Yeah, see, I insert so much stuff into all that. The whole him thinking that maybe she went up into his upstairs. I'm still imagining the Red Dragon house here, and found the paintings and stuff like this. And
no, I think he saw her outside the window when he first got out of bed in Red Dragon.
Yeah, but he
And
didn't
then-
know where she wandered around in the house.
But I think he went upstairs to fight with himself mentally about killing her or not killing her, and he was going back to his journal and just having that internal struggle.
Okay.
I think he was just trying to get to what he would consider a safe place,
Okay.
and that's probably where the attic is, where he keeps all his important stuff.
His shrine.
Yeah. So in Manhunter, pardon me, Graham and Lecter have a phone call about God, basically, and if God kills things. And
Yeah,
whatnot.
Lecter's church collapse collecting.
Yeah. And and in this movie he goes through the first house as the killer in his head.
Yeah.
He finally
Yes.
he's finally entering
Yes.
the killer's world.
He, instead of talking in the you sense to the killer, he starts using the I did this, and everything starts becoming.
Yep. So after Graham does that, in Manhunter still, the killer sees his co-worker dropping off his girl, quotes, air
Yeah.
quotes are there, back at her house, and he feels betrayal toward this girl, and he kills the other male co-worker that dropped her off there in front of the house, basically, with a silenced pistol. And basically abducts the girl,
Yep.
though it doesn't really show it. After that, Graham starts putting the psych profile together more fully, and argues with the boss about if it's too late to save the possible third family or not.
Yeah.
And it was a really heated argument, and it's just very dramatic,
Yeah.
like usually most 1980 movies are.
Well, Graham is also. He's delving further into the mindset, and so he's definitely starting to get a little more. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say angry, but.
Unhinged?
Yes, thank you. Unhinged. Because you can see them, I'm jumping ahead again, him trying to, loading the gun and everything, ready to go in and whatnot, and Jack is trying to stop him from doing all that.
Yeah. So, back to Red Dragon now, after the cops start putting pieces together. The killer goes to the library to see the original 200-year-old painting of the Red Dragon.
Yeah.
And during that process, he knocks out the curator.
Yep.
And basically eats the painting to try to stop the evolution of him, the internal struggle of not killing this blind girl.
In Red Dragon, they heavily use the word becoming for.
In the book.
They mentioned it in Red Dragon and Manhunter a few times. I mean, if you read the note to Lecter, it was all in caps, opposite to everything else.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. From
But
becoming.
we're going to be using that word frequently from here on out with a lot of things.
Okay.
So,
in Red Dragon, after that scene, Will finds out where the killer works, because he finally put together that where the home movies were made at.
the videotapes.
Yep. From the two different families, and that's how the killer knew what the insides of the house was like, how there were pets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, in Hannibal, we had a don't do drugs. This time, be careful with your media.
Don't scare the people.
Anyways, back to serial killers.
So, Will finds out where the killer works. Okay, so killer sees Graham at the video place,
Yep.
and he books out of there before Graham knows. And now Graham has a name.
Yep.
The killer kills Ralph that's the actual name of the co-worker that dropped off the blind girl.
Okay.
In Red Dragon, because he was getting too close to his girl, dropping her off and all this other
Yeah,
stuff.
Red Dragon got the inspiration for that from Manhunter, actually.
Okay.
In the book, it was just a gas station attendant that he got into a confrontation with.
Okay.
And he grabbed Reba because he knew everything was coming undone. So.
Yeah. But here, Graham finds out who the killer is. And then the killer kills this minor character, Ralph, and abducts his girl.
Mm-hmm.
And goes back to his place, basically. And when the girl comes to, he starts dousing everything with gasoline.
Yep.
And thinking he's saving her from the dragon and becoming, basically.
From becoming.
Now, back in Manhunter, where are we at? Graham starts putting the psych more fully together. Argues with the boss. Okay, I'm on the last page finally. Yes! He figures out, after arguing with his boss in Manhunter, he finally figures out about the VHS connection. Now, VHS is home videotape, basically.
Yeah, it's a really old way of watching movies. I actually had Manhunter on VHS.
And then we find out that the killer abducted the blind lady, and Graham is on a plane to St. Louis. Start giving names to local PD to get a lead on the killer, and they finally head to the killer's house.
Yep.
Now, for the ending of Manhunter, the killer does have broken mirrors in his house.
Yep.
Because of his disfigurement, of course.
Yep.
And he takes the girl to the kitchen. He breaks a mirror in the sink to try to find that right size piece of mirror.
Yep.
To put in her eye, basically. So they get to the house. Graham is sneaking around, and he sees the killer threatening the girl.
Yep. You finally notice it's Grissom.
As he's rushing in. Now, the killer is super strong. You can really see his strength in this scene about how he just one arm picked up Graham, basically.
Yeah.
And just tosses him around like he's a rag doll.
Mm-hmm. And this is when he also just, with the shotgun, through that scenery type thing, all Kool-Aid Man.
Oh yeah, the Kool-Aid Man scene through the
I couldn't help thinking that it's the Kool-Aid Man
with a shotgun. So after Graham's down for the count, for now, there's a shootout with the local police.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the killer takes a shot.
Yeah.
2 policemen die. Jack is wounded in the leg.
Okay.
And then Graham comes to and basically kills the killer. Shoots the killer.
Yep.
Pretty bad death scene, though. It was pretty awful. I did not like it.
1980s.
Yeah, and of course the blind lady is saved. Tearful reunion with the wife. And that's about it, really.
Yep. But then we have Red Dragon.
Red Dragon's a totally different beast when it comes to the ending. Ooh, boy. So, thinks he's saving her from the dragon with the gasoline, and setting the place on fire, basically. He can't shoot her. He threatens to shoot her with the shotgun.
Yep.
But he ends up turning it on himself. And she's all screaming and ends up putting her hand on the blown off head.
Mm-hmm.
And so that just freaks her out.
Yeah, I think it would freak anybody out.
So Graham and the PD show up.
Yep.
They rescue the girl. And then, of course, what movie isn't complete without a big house explosion that's so unrealistic?
There was gasoline all over. I don't know if that would...
The whole house is already engulfed. How is there going to be another big explosion?
Backdraft? Isn't that like...
Not when the whole house is already on fire, though.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not a pyro, so...
Backdraft only really works if there's a room closed and you open up and it's smoldering inside the house or inside the room, and because there's no oxygen. And the backdraft happens when you open up the door, and all that oxygen rushes into it, which then creates that explosion.
Okay.
Where it finally has fuel to light on fire.
Okay.
Explosively, usually.
Okay.
Okay, so big house explosion. So, during the investigation of the house, the police find out that the body is not the killer's.
Yeah.
It's Ralph.
Yep.
Yeah. So, we pan over back down to Florida, and the killer has Graham's son.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah. During the course of that scene, in the beginning of it, Graham sees his son has pissed himself.
Yep.
Pardon me.
And
Sorry. And because of that, you can see his eyes darting back and forth, trying, how do I get my son out of this?
yeah.
And that's when he noticed about the piss.
Yep.
And he started to verbally abuse his own son.
Yeah. To save him, though.
Yes, to save him. Because during this course, he got a hold of the journal. Mm-hmm. The killer's journal, and read about the abuse that he went through.
Yep.
And so he started verbally abusing his son like Dollahide was abused when he was a kid.
Yep.
Which really triggered Dollahide.
Yeah. It got him to pay more attention to Graham instead of the kid, which is what Graham was intending.
Yes, it was. And it was pretty hard. It's like...
Yeah.
Just watching him saying that to his son.
Yeah.
But halfway through all of that verbal abuse, he switched it to the killer. Mm-hmm. If you were paying attention. And the shootout happened, or he got his son away, basically.
Yeah.
And was able to get him into the bedroom with the wife.
Mm-hmm.
And a shootout happens. Through a closed door. So, yeah, people were shot. Both of them were. Graham's down. So the wife picks up the gun. Graham tells her to go shoot him. Make sure that he's dead.
Yep.
So the wife goes out there. The killer, I think, sits upright.
Yeah, he starts to sit back up.
And
as
she
they do.
Puts one to the head.
Yep.
And so, finally dead. So, Graham recovers. Lecter's, and he receives a letter from Lecter.
Yeah.
And it's just basically a reminder letter saying, hey, I'm still here. How are you doing? That's basically what it boils down to.
I hope you won't be too ugly after all his scars he keeps getting.
Yep. And at the end of the movie, we end up back at Silence of the Lambs, literally.
Yeah,
Dragon.
literally, yeah.
It shows the beginning scene of Barney talking to Lecter about...
Oh, it was Chilton.
It's Chilton?
Yep.
Okay. Talking to Lecter, saying there was a young FBI female agent that comes to talk to him.
Yep.
And that was basically the movies.
Yep, in the book, actually, even continuing back into Silence of the Lambs, they tell us what happens to Graham after all this. He never goes back to profiling. He's single again. Yeah,
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, I understand.
Yep, and basically an alcoholic. He doesn't get a happy ending for this. His wife, he'd only been married to her for 3 years, actually.
And where'd that son come from?
It's a stepson.
Okay.
He met her a couple of years after the Lecter incident, so he'd already retired from FBI by the time she met him. She knew how rough he had it and whatnot, but never knew him in full profiling mode.
In the books?
Yeah.
Okay, because in the movie, they don't mention anything about stepsons or anything.
Yeah, it gets too in depth, just time wise to do it.
And about how that she's already been through this, didn't want to go through it again.
But she had never been through it before originally.
Okay. Anything other interesting tidbits?
Yeah. Francis Dollarhide is based off of the BTK killer.
And what's BTK?
Dennis Rader.
But what does BTK stand for?
Bind, torture, and kill.
Ah, okay.
So BTK, he would basically hide out in the houses instead of invading them, and he would kill whole families, just like Dollarhide did. Again, we're going to have to do another warning here. Be careful. He did a lot of the raping, ejaculating on various bodies. Nasty. He started that in... what was it? The early 80s, late 70s, early 80s time frame. And
yeah, I don't know anything about
serial
killers.
Yeah, he would call it his project. He had a lot of contact with the media, specifically a place called Cake News, K-A-K-E News, out of Wichita, Kansas.
Okay.
But it's Cake News. He would go on decade-long hiatuses, actually. And he found them via... He worked for the security company, ADT. And so that's how he found his victims.
Okay.
They had a special squad that was trying to hunt him down for decades. It was called the Hot Dog Squad.
The Hot Dog
The Hot Dog Squad.
Why was it called the Hot...
I don't know. I tried finding it.
It was probably an inside joke.
It probably was.
And it just stuck.
One of his last kills that he went in and did, he finished off a bowl of cereal.
What type?
I don't know. Maybe it was Count Chocula. But, yeah, he did that because he wanted to pawn on being a serial killer.
Boo.
Hey, not mine. That was all Dennis Rader. So, he was finally caught, believe it or not, in 2004.
Ouch. Not too long ago, honestly.
No, Red Dragon movie that inspired all this had already been out by the time he was finally caught. And they caught him because he sent a letter asking if he sent in a floppy disk, would they be able to trace it to him?
What?
Yep. The police said, nope. Nope, we will not be able to trace it to you.
Yeah. Dummy.
Yep.
And it's like he had, a 20, 25-year killing spree?
Yeah, just about. Here's the thing that gets me about Dennis Rader. No abusive childhood. He just was.
You don't have to have an abusive childhood just to make you a killer, though.
No, but there's a lot of debate between the whole nature versus nurture thing, and he's the really worst one that I've heard of that had no real abusive childhood. He just, as a kid, had, was into like autoerotic asphyxiation, zoosadism, which is choking animals and killing them.
The autoerotic asphyxiation isn't really going to hit until you're a teen, until you hit puberty. So because you're not really going to know what that is.
No, but still, that's just a little background on Dennis Rader.
Anything else?
I think I'm going to save these other two ones for a different podcast. because I have some profiles here about Hannibal Lecter himself, but I think we are running a bit long, so I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger and come back next time and you can hear about some of the Hannibal Lecter stuff.
Now, is these Hannibal Lecter stuff from the Red Dragon books?
They can be. I mean, it's more just in general.
Okay.
So
we'll save that for the Manhunter one that's coming up after this one.
Yeah, one quick story though. Ted Bundy did a profile actually on the Green River Killer, who is known as Gary Ridgway, who is known as the Green River Killer. His profile is the one that was extremely accurate and actually got Gary Ridgway caught. So using one serial killer to catch another is something that is done.
Yeah.
So.
I never. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just that that's one of the major first cases that really came out that they actually did this.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Okay.
So, you people have a wonderful day.
Next time we will be doing Hannibal Rising.
Yep. So,
yep.
Later.